This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Hey guys, Big Paul here today with a contest prep update. Only got 3 more weeks left. Getting down to the final phases of the contest prep. Things are going well. I felt good, had a good week of training. I think my body composition improved. Overall, things are going great. So I'm happy with where I'm at. Let's dig into it in just a second. All right, so this past week, I'm definitely feeling the contest prep brain now. Justin cut my carbs back last week. It's funny how just a little bit of a change will tip you into feeling tired and have brain fog. I get a lot of brain fog at the end. It's like my brain's just not working 100% and things are a little bit slow. And it just happens when you're depleted at the end. Weight loss this week, I dropped only a pound. But we're getting down to like the last little bit. There's not a lot of fat left to lose. Maybe just a little bit on my lower back. But I'm pretty happy about where my body composition is. I only lost 1 pound this week, but I feel like that 1 pound I lost was, I noticed like considerable improvements in my body composition this week. So I don't get too focused on the scale. The scale is an indicator. People ask me about how much weight loss they should expect per week. The pictures are, when you're in the initial part of losing weight, fat loss, I let the scale dictate more because it's hard to tell from the pictures where you're progressing. But when you get down towards the end, it's more about visual changes for me, at least. My fasted weight this week was 234 at my check-in. Like I said, only down 1 pound. My walking around weight, my daytime weight is somewhere around 240. I weighed myself the other night at the gym. After I worked out, I was like right at 240. Blood pressure. Actually, I had a couple times this week where I felt like I was going to pass out. And my blood pressure was running a little low. I don't know. It was like 100 over 60. So I don't know if that was what the issue was. I got really lightheaded, but I also had a few times where during the day, not even fasted, where my blood sugars were running in the 60s, and that's without insulin. I'm not running Lantus or anything like that right now. I'm just doing a little bit of Humalog on my high day to help uptake those carbs. But maybe I need to back off the metformin. Possibly, I don't know at this point. People are asking me about how I'm dealing with the COVID thing. I feel pretty much recovered from the COVID. It knocked me on my ass for about a week. Wasn't as bad as the first time I had it, but I feel fine. Sleep's been fine for the most part. I had a couple nights where I get the night sweats and wake up, but that happens when you're on contest prep. All right, so let's take a look at the pictures. This is 16 weeks out versus 3 weeks out. You can see my physique is really starting to harden up now. I am losing some size in my legs. I'm worried about that. My legs tend to just shrivel up at the end, and I know that's an old man issue. A lot of old guys have issues with their legs shriveling up at the end. So we dropped the HIIT cardio because I think that's really hard on your legs sometimes, and we have moved to steady state. So I'm just walking on the treadmill right now for cardio. It's just about net energy balance really right now anyway. So things have tightened up a good bit. You can see, my abs are tightened up. My legs are definitely tighter than they were. I'm not as full as I was, but I was fat there and bloated and eating a shit ton of food. So I think it was like 272, 273 when I started prep fasted. And right now, maybe that was my daytime weight. I was in the 270s daytime weight. Yeah. So, I'm down 40 pounds. So it's fair amount of weight loss, 40 pounds in 13 weeks. So roughly 3 pounds a week. People always ask me about, what you can expect for weight loss. I like to aim for 2 to 3 pounds a week. I think anything more than that, you start sacrificing muscle. Can't really rush fat loss. That's a thing. Get a lot of guys that reach out to me for coaching, and they're eager to, press the gas pedal down on fat loss. And it's, there are some shortcuts you can take, but you end up paying the price later on. You just fuck your metabolism up and you lose muscle. So 2 to 3 pounds a week for men is a reasonable amount of fat loss to expect. When you think about it, this pound of fat is 3,500 calories. So if you're losing 3 pounds of fat a week, which is a lot, that's 10,500 calories of fat you're metabolizing in a week, which is considerable when you think about it. I mean, that's something like 1,500 calories a day. It's a lot. So you have to do that between a deficit, the fat burners, and exercise. That's a fair amount. When you get, that's another thing too about getting your calories higher in the off season that people don't consider. That's why we try to push calories as high as we can in the off season, because a deficit from, let's say if I wanted to run a 1,500 calorie deficit, but with, let's say 1,000 from food and 500 from additional exercise. If I'm eating 5,500 calories a day, that means I'm down to 4,000. That's not so bad. But guys that come into diets starting off with their calories really low, we don't have much room to play with. I get these guys that come in and I'm already eating 2,500 calories. What are we supposed to cut down to? 1,000 calories? So there are times of the year that you need to spend building up your metabolism. Anyway, sorry about the rant. Side pose. Somebody was giving me shit last week saying I didn't have chest development, from my side pose, and it was just my shitty posing. I forget to turn my shoulder forward, which is something you need to do on the side pose here. You can see this week I actually turned my shoulder forward, and you can see my chest development. I actually have a pretty big chest. It's one of my stronger body parts. I don't always do a best job of showing it off. But I'm pretty lean from the side now. I really don't have much left. You can see my serratus and intercostals, and I'm getting, you can't see in the picture, but I actually have striations and veins in my stomach and stuff. Front pictures, you can see everything's tightened up. Somebody asked me about the scar at the bottom of my stomach. I have a couple scars, and there are some stretch marks. I need to do a video up on it at some point, but I got pretty fat in my 30s. I don't know how many people know my journey, but I didn't lift for like 10 years and let myself go. Got fat, and then I dropped a bunch of weight. I dropped something like 70, 80 pounds, and I had a bunch of stretch marks and loose skin. So I had a tummy tuck surgery done. What a fucking nightmare that thing was. I don't know if I would recommend it to anybody. I am relatively happy with the results, but the scar on the stomach is from a mini tummy tuck surgery. I also had melanoma as well, and had to have the melanoma and some lymph nodes removed. So I have additional scarring on my stomach. So my stomach's kind of all fucked up. There's a big scar here. There's the one from the tummy tuck. I had a hematoma I had to have drained in my stomach. So I've had multiple stomach surgeries. So that's why my stomach's kind of fucked up looking. And you can see here at the bottom of my stomach, it looks like I'm carrying a little bit of fat, but it's not fat. There's no fat left there. It's just some scar tissue from all the surgeries I've had. It just is what it is. When you get a tan on, it doesn't really show up that much. Nothing I can do about it. I just try to live with it and go on. It's funny, you don't notice it when I'm fat that much. You can't even see it. But then when I get leaner, I think when I get my spray tan done at the thing, it seems to make the scar stand out more. When I'm not getting spray tan, you can't see it. But when you do the dark coat for the show, it covers it up. But I have a spray tan. That's another thing too. Some dude said I look jaundiced and yellow. It's not jaundice. I just got my liver values checked like a week or two ago, and they were fine. It's the spray tan. I go. That's also why I don't do a regular tan either, because I've had melanoma. So I have had cancer in the past. So guys have asked me about that. Rear shot here. Had somebody said it looked like I had a bunch of stretch marks on the back of my legs. Those are not stretch marks, my friends. Those are veins. I have the veiniest legs in the fucking world, man. I mean, there are fucking veins all over my adductors. They're just covered in veins. They're just very grainy and vein. And my lumpy ass from I tore. God damn it, I can't remember the name of that muscle, but I tore a muscle. You can see it here in my ass a few years back. Fuck, I can't remember the name of the muscle, but it was extremely, extremely painful. That's why I have that divot in my ass, because I tore a muscle. I don't know how many people tear a muscle in their ass, but I did. There's some better pics from the posing room. The lighting in the posing room is much better than what I have here at my house. You can see my legs are starting to shrivel up a little bit. I am trying to keep my legs full, but there's only so much you can do when you're low carb. Here's another shot for the guy who said my chest looked like it was small, that I needed to work on my chest development. I promise you my chest is plenty big enough. Posing room pics. This is, rear pic here. It's funny, I can see veins in my lats. It's pretty wild. Somebody asked me about the spot on the back of my leg too. I had a cyst that abscessed earlier in my prep. I had to have it drained, and it ruptured. And it after the draining, it ruptured a couple times. I need to have it surgically removed at some point, but I am trying to put it off. I don't want to have surgery on my leg to remove this goddamn thing during the middle of prep and then have to stop prep, because it probably means not training legs for a few weeks when they cut that thing open and stitch it up. So I've just been sort of dealing with it. That's why sometimes it'll burst open and bleed. That's why I've had the Band-Aid on the back of it in some of the pictures. Anyway, these are some of the obstacles you have to get over when you're going through prep. I mean, prep, I had COVID. I had to deal with this shit. You got work, family, other things. Nothing's ever goes perfect. You just have to work around shit when it happens. No changes on the diet. Justin doesn't really foresee any changes from here to the end. Really, when you think about it, we're 3 weeks out. I only really have 2 more weeks left of hard dieting. Everybody gets terrified about peak week. Peak week, you cut back on training and you're reloading food. Peak week is actually, I don't know, it's easier than the weeks leading up to it. I don't know why everybody's spat. If you're having to make drastic changes on peak week and do drastic things on peak week, it's because you weren't ready. It's as simple as that. If you're ready, peak week should be a breeze. That should be when you're refilling glycogen, getting yourself filled back out again. So right now on my low day, I don't count these are just trace carbs from vegetables. So really, I'm only having 75 grams of carbs on my low day. And I will tell you, that fucking sucks. I feel like shit on my low day. My regular medium days, my training days, I have about 200 grams of carbs. I remember when 200 grams of carbs felt like a lot to me. And now I'm a few years ago when I first got back into training, 200 grams of carbs seemed like a lot to me, but shit, now I'm starving when I eat 200 grams of carbs because I just got my metabolism ramped up so much. And then high day is 1,000 grams of carbs plus a cheat meal. My body just soaks all that up. People like when I talk about my diet, people are just baffled by the 1,000 grams of carbs. They're like, I don't know how you're doing that. I don't want to get into the details of it, but it's the magic of carb cycling. Current PEDs, nothing's changed since last week. 750 test, 600 Primo, 300 milligrams of Masteron, 150 milligrams of Tren, half a milligram. Actually, I bumped that up. I'm doing 3/4 of a milligram of Remedex per day. Sorry, that is incorrect. 6 units of GH every day, split into 3 units in the morning, 3 units in the evening dosage. 1,500 milligrams of berberine, 1,000 milligrams of metformin. I'm probably going to cut that metformin back. My blood sugar's been running low. Maybe the berberine too. I don't know. I'm scared to change things going in the last few weeks of prep because sometimes things have unknown consequences. You start changing around your drugs and then you end up holding water. So I don't know. 80 milligrams of telmisartan. I had considered lowering this, but I think I probably should just ride it out. Same concern there. Human log on the high days. Fat burners right now is the 25 milligrams of ephedrine twice a day. 1 Go Bill from First Detachment Nutrition 2 times per day. That is the fat burner from First Detachment Nutrition that is designed to be used with ephedrine. It is, it's the CY of the ECY stack, so this is really an ECY stack. If you want to pick up a bottle of Go Pills from First Detachment Nutrition, I have a discount code AB10. You get 10% off. I like it. It goes very well with the ephedrine. 100 micrograms of Clin per day, and I'm probably going to add the Halo testing in sometime next week. I am not using Winstrol this year. I'm going with Halo. Switching it up. So I've never used Halo before. This will be my first ride with Halo. I don't know how I made it this far in my life and not tried. I thought I had tried everything, but I haven't tried Halo testing before. This is going to be my first year. Cycle plans, you can see here, nothing's changed. So, instead of adding the Winstrol next week, I'm probably going to start off with 10 milligrams of Halo. See how it goes. Current training split, nothing. I need to change that. There's no deload. Volume has pretty much stayed the same. I've been just kind of playing the volume by feel when I go in to do my workout. Sometimes there's been a couple days where I just ran out of gas, so I didn't get all the volume in, but it's funny, you just start bonking. It's like the strength is there, but there's just not enough carbs in the muscle. There's no glycogen left to fuel it. It's like the other night I was doing curls and I was banging out. I did, set 1, 15 reps, set 2, 15 reps, set 3, 12 reps, and then set 4. I could only get like 4 reps with the same weight. That doesn't happen when I'm fully fueled. That's just the muscle's just out of gas. Cardio, as I mentioned, I need to change that on here too. It's not HIIT anymore. It's steady state. So 30 minutes of steady state. I'm just walking in the morning 5 times per week. Posing sort of like cardio too. I mean, it's another calorie burner. I'm doing 6 times a week, 3 rounds. Guys, I say this every time I do these check-ins. Do not wait until the end of your prep to start posing. I know it's no fun posing when you're fat, starting off prep, but you have got to pose every day. You're going to be fucked if you wait until the end to start posing when you get on stage. I see dudes get gassed out. I see dudes shaking. I see dudes that don't know how to pose. They look like shit. So same deal. Coach's feedback from Justin, basically just don't fuck anything up right now. Nothing changes. We're working on getting that last little bit of fat off my lower back. There's just a tiny little bit left. We're going to work that off over the next couple weeks, but we're almost there. Nothing has changed really. Everything's the same. I thought about the Masters Nationals thing in end of July, but I just don't want to continue my prep for another 6 weeks. I'm going to do it next year. When I'm done with this, I got plans for the summer. I need, I've put my family and my girlfriend on hold for long enough. It's been 16 weeks and I can't even fucking go out to dinner with anybody or hang out with my kids and do shit because of food. That is the sacrifice you make on contest prep. People don't realize that. If you're going to be committed to contest prep, you have to put things in your personal life on hold. I mean, like, just even going to a concert or something. If I'm going for 4 hours for a concert, I can't bring food with me to a concert. So, you can't do it. So you just have to skip shit like that when you're on prep. And then I'm training 7 days a week. So, Anyway, that's all I got today, guys. If you want to get in contact with me about coaching, my contact information is below in the video description. Probably best way to get a hold of me is just shoot me an email at bigp3rd@gmail.com. You can also go to www.anabolicbodybuilding.com if you want to book a consult call, or just go ahead and sign up for coaching. The plans are there. You can just go ahead and sign up. But if you want to reach out to me, shoot me an email. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for watching.